Hello everybody, welcome to another update. Before we get started, I would appreciate it if you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. And now let's jump straight into the video. As you guys know, the mobilization in Russia has started and they are recruiting soldiers from every region of Russia. Also, there are major rumors of leaked documents that Russia is not trying to mobilize 300,000 soldiers, but instead is trying to mobilize 1 million soldiers. This will be very bad news if it is confirmed. As I mentioned in my previous videos, all the flights going out of Russia are completely booked. Men are trying to escape left and right. The men are being asked if they are liable for military service, and they are being checked to see if they have a return ticket. And here's some footage of Russian men going on to buses and saying goodbye to their family because they have been called up. The sad thing is, a lot of these men will not be returning home. Their resting ground will be in Ukraine. This is from a small town in Yakutsk. And a lot of these mobilization videos, like the one you are watching right now, are from very small towns in Russia. But the number of men that are lined up, the number of men that have been called is humongous. If this is the same for every small town in Russia, they are definitely amassing more than 300,000 troops. Probably a million, possibly even more. And if you really think about it, this is a very smart move by Putin. Announce a small number, but mobilize a bigger number to keep your population in control. If he pretty much came out and said, we are mobilizing 1 million men, there would have been a lot more protests all over Russia. But he announced a very small number of 300,000, but secretly he's amassing even more. And as you can see from this video, he's amassing troops from every corner of Russia. Also, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, people that became Russian citizens in the last 10 years that are from the former Soviet Union, such as Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, that have been citizens of Russia for 10 years or less, will need to serve a mandatory 1 year. If they do not serve 1 year in the Russian military, they and their families will be revoked of their Russian citizenship. But a lot of Russian men are trying to escape Russia. Here's the Russia-Georgia border. As you can see, the traffic before and after. Right now, there are massive columns of Russians trying to escape. Russians are fleeing in every direction, not only to Georgia, but to Finland as well. As you can see, the long lines on the border. Also, there are massive traffic jams on the border with Kazakhstan. This could be the people that became Russian citizens and now they have to serve 1 year. They're probably like, man, it is not worth being a Russian citizen. I'm going back to the motherland. It could also be Russian men trying to flee this mass mobilization. Also, the dictator of Crimea has called for the return of basic military training to schools. She stated that students should know how trenches look and how to arrange them. Also know the basics of different type of mines. And now let's take a quick look at the map. This map is not updated, but I do have the news that will pretty much give you the news in advance. There are major battles going on next to Kupiansk. The Russians have started attacking, but the Ukrainians are holding their ground. But things get very interesting in the south. There are major rumors, a lot of it is confirmed, but the map hasn't been updated, that the Ukrainian forces have officially taken Rubisti and Koviri Yar, and they have pushed deeper. This will mean that all of this territory is now under Ukrainian control, and that means the Russians have started pulling back. They're probably holding out in Liman right now, but there are also major rumors that the Ukrainians have begun entering the city. I'm not sure if the Russians are withdrawing or what is going on. Hopefully later today in the second part of this update, I will have more clarity on what is happening. But the good news is Ukrainian forces are making progress. Also, there are major battles happening next to Lysychansk and this town right here, Brestove. But it looks like the Russians are holding on to this territory. And the Russian forces continue to attack Bakhmut, but the Ukrainian forces are holding strong. No breakthrough as of yet. There's no major progress in the Donetsk area or in the Zaporizhia area, but there is video confirmation that the Ukrainian forces are standing at the entrance of Endehorad right here. They probably crossed this body of water because in every other direction the Russian forces have control. This is most likely a special unit that is penetrating into Russian controlled territory. This is definitely a good sign. Hopefully they can distract some Russian soldiers into going into this area and then open up a front somewhere else. And in the Kherson region, aka the meat grinder, there are no major updates. And here's something that we don't see often: at least 6 different units being moved to repair facilities in central Russia. Probably the ones that came out of storage, they realized that they are not in good condition, so they need some major work before they are moved to the front lines. Russia is corrupt just like every other country, and there are people in the Russian military that are selling parts, selling ammo, ammunition on the black market in order to make some extra money. And here's the most recent update of Russian losses as of September 22nd. 945 losses visually confirmed since August 29th, of which 54% was captured equipment. Over 99 losses were added since the last update 2 days ago. So Russia is definitely losing a ton of equipment. And here's some more footage from the Kharkiv region. As you can see, the Russians left a lot of ammunition, a lot of vehicles to the Ukrainians. And now the Ukrainians are pretty much taking all of this equipment, regrouping before they continue their counteroffensive. And we do have some more information on the prisoner exchange. It looks like Putin reached out to the president of Turkey, Erdogan, to facilitate the release of Ukrainian politician Viktor Medvedchuk during the meeting in Sochi on August 5th. Erdogan went to Ukraine to visit, met with Zelensky, and they struck a deal to release 200 Ukrainian prisoners of war and the 10 foreigners. Also, according to the deal that was struck, the leaders of the Azov battalions will stay in Turkey until the war is over. As we all know, the release of the Azov battalion leaders and some of their soldiers will most likely be a morale boost for Ukraine. But we have to be honest on the channel. Those Azov guys that were released are no different from the Russian soldiers. Both have committed war crimes against each other's people. Both have killed innocent men, women, and children, and they have both bombed civilian infrastructure. One other thing that I would like to mention before we end this update is that it looks like the Russians are recruiting a lot of minorities in this mobilization. People from the Chechen Republic, from Dagestan, from the Far East, from the areas close to Kazakhstan. They are literally trying to recruit from these republics that have a history of trying to break away from Russia. This could be a sign that Putin is trying to eliminate a lot of his future competition. He's using this opportunity to cleanse these regions and these republics of fighting age men. This way, if things go south in Ukraine, he will not have any opposition in the Russian mainland. Also, he is planning way ahead. Eliminate the threat before it even happens. Alright everybody, that concludes this update. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on your notifications. And as always, Slava Ukraina. See you in the next video. Peace out.